Hello and welcome. I'm DDF Racer, and over the course of the past 2 weeks I've been taking part in the SimRacing.Club Academy, or SRCA for short. Now this is a 2-race season which forms the basis of whether or not you get a license to participate in the Virtual Endurance Championship, or VEC for short. The VEC is an online championship which uses rFactor 2 and is, in my opinion, the best place to go racing as far as multiplayer endurance races are concerned. Of course there's iRacing too, but that costs hell a lot of money, which I don't have. And I'm also a little partial to rFactor 2, which you may have guessed if you've watched any of my other videos on this channel. Earlier in the year, I had the opportunity to commentate on the VEC 24 Hours of Le Mans race, and absolutely loved it. Just wanted to get involved as a driver, but realised I needed to make it through the SRCA first. I made it through the sign-up, which was no easy feat by the way, and live streamed both races on this channel, which was a first for me as well. And just massive thanks again to everybody who tuned in. Now, if you don't want any spoilers, I suggest stopping the video right now. Okay, you're still here? Good. I got my license! Despite a few questionable moments which I'm about to go over later in this video with some replays and some further analysis, I can now safely say that I made it through the SRCA and can go forth and participate in not only the VEC, but the very first season of the VLMS too. The VLMS, which is short for the Virtual Le Mans series, is pretty much identical to the VEC, apart from the fact that the races are significantly shorter. Instead of being 6 to 12 hours each, they're only 2 hours, and the seasonal finale at Le Mans is only 4 hours instead of 24, which makes it a little bit more manageable and easier to get into. If you hadn't already put 2 and 2 together by the footage in the background, then I can also announce that I have been signed up by the Zansho SimSport team and will be participating in said debut season of the VLMS. Big thanks to my SRCA stream buddy Ed Trevelyan Johnson for providing this footage, by the way. Now I'm not sure what car I'll be driving yet, but it'll be the GTE class, and most likely either the BMW or the recently announced Aston Martin, but I'm going to be teaming up with fellow YouTube streamer Max Eru, also known as Bryce, for most of the races and broadcasting them live as part of the Zansho team. By the way, you should definitely go and check his channel out, his artwork is sick! So yeah, when a few things such as the car and the exact schedule get finalised, I'll go and post the news over on my Discord. Link in the description, you should go and check that out. For now though, let's go and see how my SRCA races fell apart. Okay, so here we are at the start of the race, driving the Porsche GT3 car at Silverstone. Now, I qualified in 5th position, and heading into the race I was feeling pretty confident. I'd done a lot of laps in practice to become familiar with the car, familiar with the track. I wasn't right at the top of the field, but I was close enough. It was only a couple of tenths off the pace. But yeah, I'd done a lot of practice because I wanted to become familiar with the car and the track. These races are all about safety and all about just keeping it on the track in one piece, so I wanted to make sure I knew how the car handled. Did a lot of practice on high fuel, on low fuel, old tyres, new tyres. I even did a practice in the wet as well, offline, which was pretty pointless because it didn't end up raining in this race, although there was a 50% chance, so not entirely worthless to be honest. But yeah, we're all very closely matched, and yeah, nice little pack ahead of us. I'm in 5th, Daniel Christo ahead of me in 4th. We're very close on pace, and get used to that name, Daniel Christo. You'll be hearing a little bit more of him in this review. So let's fast forward a little bit in this race on to lap 13. There's a nice little pack developed. I'm still in 5th place. I've been holding on, but we've been so close, all 5 of us, just backwards and forwards, just no one can quite make the overtakes. There's got, at the lead of the group, we've got Ben Dutton, then obviously Daniel Christo is still ahead of me. I'm there in 5th, and behind me is Laszlo. Now he's very fast, and right at the back of the pack we've got Antal as well, but Laszlo is all over the mirrors, while I'm also all over the mirrors of Daniel ahead of me. Now I'm trying to get 4th position, and my strongest point throughout the race so far has been the first section, so I take a sweeping line, go for the cutback, and get absolutely mugged by Laszlo. Just left the door wide open, got absolutely mugged, and now I'm down to 6th, which made me feel pretty sad at the time because I'm not used to this, you know. I'm trying to weave back now and get the position. Don't want to give up the place, want to get straight back again, 6 back to 5th. But yeah, wasn't expecting that, going backwards after having the pace and feeling like I've been held up. I mean, Ben was struggling with his tyres quite a lot at this point of the race, I imagine. He was starting to hold us up, and I could see Daniel had the pace to get past him as well, Daniel Christo. You can see there, Ben's running wide. Yeah, just trying to find a way past. So Laszlo's done it. I try to look into Woodcote at the end of the Hanger Straight, not Hanger Straight. End of that straight, which I can't remember the name of, but it didn't work, so I'm following his tail. But here we can see we got some blue flags. The LMPs are starting to come up behind us as well. Now Ben runs wide through Maggots and Beckett's, and I get a little bit of a run onto the Hanger Straight. Wellington Straight, that's the one I was thinking of before, Wellington Straight. But yeah, I've got a bit of a run here. Obviously, Antel behind us is letting the LMP3 pass. Now we all have to move position as well. Heading on to lap 14. Feeling pretty confident at this point I can get this position back. So we're all fighting for position. It's just intense part of the race. I move over, give the LMP the position. He goes around the outside, and away we go back in with the racing. Now I'm thinking the LMP is probably going to mix things up a little bit here. So I'm just going to hang with him and see what happens. And funnily enough, Ben runs wide again, LMP3 gets him on the main straight, and this is my chance. I've been very strong in the first section, taking all the curb and then some. Got him right on the tail here. You can see I'm just trying to size him up for the opportunity. He doesn't go defensive, he stays on his line. We nail it, clock the curb a little bit there, and then try and get the cut back. Heading onto the Wellington Straight, we're right behind him. We've got such a good run, such a good drive out of the corner. Now, Laszlo's gone. Laszlo's down the track, and Daniel Christo has pulled away at the front of the pack as well. He's gone. He's absolutely gone. But here we go. Make our first overtake of the race on Ben Dutton, back into 5th place. Onwards and upwards, yep. Onwards and upwards. Let's skip it forward a lap. Okay, so we're now approaching the end of lap 14. I said I was going to skip ahead a bit of a lap, but I lied. I forgot. It was actually a lap earlier than I remembered. There was a code 80 got called. Now Carlos, the race director, was on TeamSpeak at the time, and we did a microphone check before the start of the race to make sure that everyone can hear him. Yep, fine, no issues, no problems at all. Now at this point of the race, Carlos calls code 80 in 10 seconds. 5, 4, well, I missed the countdown slightly, but you can see that Christo is ahead of me. It's just chaos. Christo's slowed down. The LMP3 is going right around the outside. Laszlo's going for it as well. Some people have slowed down, some people haven't. I haven't heard anything in the headphones either. I'm gonna actually show you. I'm gonna cut to the live footage from the stream and just show you. Just listen out, see if you can hear anything in the headphones. And bearing in mind I was racing at the time, I was concentrating, and I'll give you a comparison. I'll play you that, and I'll play the microphone test before the start of the race as well, just so you can see the difference.
This is the first whisper test. Please rev up your engines. If you're sitting on the pits, rev up your engines. Make sure you can hear my voice over the engine revving. Make sure you can hear me loud and clear in order to hear me during the race.
Blue flag. Car on your left side.
So yeah, we're now cruising around under code 80, which is essentially a virtual safety car. I ran into the back of Daniel Christo ahead of me, which I'm a little bit embarrassed about. I'm trying to still figure out what's going on, but yeah. I'm pretty sure I've given him damage at this point. And his car is probably feeling a little bit unstable. Mine, not so much. I didn't get any damage from this that I'm aware of. But yeah, I'm thinking at this point of the race, code 80 would be a great time to make a pit stop and save some time, but it was just too early in the race. Even if I'd have filled the car up completely, I wouldn't have had enough fuel to make it to the end of the race, so I would have had to make another pit stop anyway. So, yeah. Worth a try, but not in this instance. Normally you try and take advantage of these code 80s because you lose so much less time in the pits compared to at full racing speed. Okay, so here we are. We're now on lap 19 of the race, and the battle has not died down. Code 80's cleared. We're all at full speed. I'm still behind Daniel Christo, and actually Laszlo dropped back a few positions. He gave up the spots he gained. Well, not the spots he gained, but he gained up a lot of time in the code 80 because he just didn't hear, same as me. He just kept on going. So he did actually drop back, fair play to him, and gave us the positions. So yeah, you can see we're all nice and close again. I'm up to 4th position at this point in the race, and if you look into the background, you can see a few LMP3s are starting to come up behind us. I'm going to cut to the live stream footage again, and I'm just going to show it you from my perspective first, but yeah. See what happens, guys. See what happens. I'm sure you've probably already seen this if you watch the streams, but yeah. Here it is from my perspective. Keep to the right for the LMP3.
Left side's clear.
Get some cheeky slipstream.
There's a faster car approaching.
Maybe we can use this traffic to our advantage.
Right side. There's a guy on your right. You're in the middle, 3 wide. Near left. Left side.
Right then. Coming onto the hangar straight, I give the yellow LMP3 car all the space he needs. I drop back in, get a little bit slipstream, and as you just seen, I'm thinking this could be my chance. Heading through Stowe Corner and heading into Club Corner. You can see here, where is it? There we go, pause. Christo has started to move to the inside, and the LMP3 is on the outside. Let's just watch this in slow. So he moves to the inside, just ignore the bollard on the middle of the track there. Now the LMP3 is not quite sure what's going on. He starts to slow down as well, hits the dirt on the outside, and is giving the corner back to Christo. Nobody wants to go through Club Corner, basically. No one wants to take it. No, you go. No, you go. Meanwhile, I'm steaming up in the background, not realizing how slow they go. Slam on the brakes. Rear tyres have locked. I'm starting to spin round, and I avoid the LMP3, but slide straight over the curbs into Daniel Christo. Obviously, forgive the slightly glitchy R Factor 2 physics here. This is a replay from the server. And yeah, there's not really much to say about that, to be honest with you. Apart from the fact that I took him out of the race, plain and simple. I could have been a little bit more prepared going into that corner. I should have really realised what was going on. I could see them going side by sides, and yeah, the brake lights are on, but yeah, just one of those things, unfortunately. Yeah, just a bit of uncertainty. I'm actually going to take that back. You can see I'm getting absolutely swamped by the cars here. Let's have a look at that from Daniel Christo's. Let's find a good angle here. We can zoom it round. Here we go, this will be good. So heading into Club Corner, he goes to the inside, LMP3 goes to the outside, backs out of it, I come steaming up and clonk. Now at this point Daniel's got significant damage, and obviously he's looking for a safe time to rejoin the track too. He does so, he does a very safe rejoin actually, just hugging the curb, off the racing line, and back he is, down in 11th position, 12th position, 13th position. You can see the car is going very slowly here, so he's clearly got damage. 14th position. Sorry, mate. The more I look back at this instant, I just think, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's have a quick look from the LMP3's perspective as well, shall we? Okay, so we're here with Alberto Zanotti in the LMP3. You can see he's not quite sure what's going on through Stowe Corner. He's a bit hesitant. Now he goes to the outside, runs out of space, slows on. He actually locks up as well. And then right before his eyes, two of the GT3s are taking each other out of the race. We could play that over and over and over again, but sadly, I don't think much is gonna change that or fix that. So I come back to the pits. The car is damaged, really damaged. Not as much as Christo's though. I need to start. And at this point, I decide to fill up the car, tank it to the end of the race, because some soft tyres and some fuel, I can make it. It's at that point in the race now where I can actually make it to the end. But yeah, so frustrating. Running in 4th, going for 3rd position. Okay, so I bring the car back to the pits, and damage is all repaired. We're back down in 16th position. Put some solid laps in. Keep on going, and eventually find ourselves back in 4th. Some solid laps. We're really closing the cap on 3rd. And I get a penalty for exceeding track limits too many times. Drive-through penalty, come to the pits, back down to 7th. Backwards and forwards this race, you can see where this is going. We're in 7th, now trying to get past 6th position. And there's a little bit of a block here. I had a bit of a scary moment as I come to the inside and he moves across in front of me. I move to the right hand side of my track to just avoid going back into the back of him. So if we just rewind that a bit and have a look from another angle, you can see as we ride on board with me, we come out of Cop's corner, and obviously he is giving the position to the LMP3 car. We're on the outside, we're holding our line, he moves to the right of the track and then back across to the left again. Very cheeky. No harm, no foul though. We both move on with our race, and let's move it back to the outboard footage. I'm not going to let that stand. I really need to get past this guy. I can't remember who this guy was. Who is this? Marcus Ecker. Now, obviously, I believe he was on old tyres at the time. He was on very old tyres at the time. We had a significant pace advantage, so I'm eyeing him up into Stowe at the Hanger Straight. No luck here, unfortunately, but running into Club Corner, he goes just a little bit too late on the brakes. You can see here, I move to the outside, he goes defensive, and get the cut back there. No, he goes wide again. Get the cut back through the final corner. Significantly better traction with the tyres, and up to 6. Now, at this point of the race, we've only got a handful of laps left, and I can see Antal ahead of me from our little battle pack early in the race, going for 5th position. Unfortunately, was it 5th position? Yeah, it was for 5th position. Now, unfortunately, I didn't end up getting him. We had a great little battle on the last lap, but I bottled it. I missed a few apexes and just couldn't get onto the back of him. So, unfortunately, we did end the race in 6th position. But, yeah, not bad overall. But there was a few dramas, obviously. Yeah. A bit of a cloud hanging over me at the end of the race, to be honest, after what happened with Daniel Christo earlier on. Now, I did go onto the SRCA forum and just sent him a message just apologising for the whole thing, taking responsibility. Now, he did respond back after a day or two, and he told me he had declined to submit an incident report, basically saying that these things happen, and even though, I damaged his car and ruined his race, which is completely true, that was 100% the case, and my fault. I should have just been paying more attention to the speed ahead of me. He said that, well, basically we're rookies, and as long as we learn from our incidents moving forwards, it's fine. Benefit of the doubt, that kind of thing. A few days later, the penalties were announced, and I had somehow managed to escape without any kind of repercussions. Jimmy Allison had a look at that and seen it was not fit for any penalties. But yeah, it didn't feel good. What I needed was a clean race, 100% clean race, no incidents, no accidents at the next round. So let's fast forward a bit and move to Interlagos. Here we are, driving the LMP3 Norma car at Interlagos. Now, this is footage from the start of the race in the first few laps. I had a lot of practice here, I'm going to be honest. I think I clocked up the most laps of anybody prior to going into this event. And yeah, I just wanted to make up for the last race. I wanted to make sure I did a proper job and just not have any mistakes. The car felt great on low fuel. I had so much pace. Long stints, not so much. The rear tyres started to drop off significantly the longer the stint went on. In qualifying, I managed to pull out my best ever lap at this circuit. That was such a rush. Ended up qualifying second, only a couple of tenths behind the leader, and felt pretty confident. Although it wasn't without incident. I had a little bit of a scare in qualifying as well. I'll just show you the footage now. Have a watch of this, guys.
Car left, clear left.
So yeah, as you can see from the footage there, we had to take a little bit of avoiding action going into the final corner, not to go into the back of that guy. Anyway, made it through in one piece, second on the grid, race starts. Great pace. Didn't manage to overtake Ben off the line, but I was hanging with him. We did a first stint, probably about 15 laps or so, and I held on to second position. Comfortably, quite actually, if I'm being honest. Anyway, code 80 gets called, neutralizes the race, virtual safety car, all that jazz. Lap 16 starts, and away we go! Over the line, Ben has immediately got a couple of GT3s to deal with. He runs wide out of turn 1, you can see him going over the runoff area there. So I think, right, this is my chance. I'm up behind the GT3s, and yeah, I was less than a second behind Ben going into turn 4. We had a little bit of a misunderstanding. I'll cut to the footage now.
Oh, on your right. Right side's clear. Right side's clear. All right. Right side's clear.
Thought he was giving me the corner, left the apex free and then turned in. Okay, so I'm getting past the first GT3, no problem. Getting past the second GT3, and I thought I had the inside line. Turns out he turned in on me, just a little bit of misunderstanding. I had to lock the brakes and flat spotted the front tyres. Now at this point, I have significant tyre damage, and you can see the car shaking there. I've just got no grip. Don't realise how little grip I've got, and clonk. Run wide, straight into the barrier, and at this point oh, my heart sank, it really did. It was going so well, I had such good pace, and it's gone in the wall. I know I've got to come in and pit for repairs. Now at this point, I've got enough fuel to make it to the end if I come in and tank the car on a soft set of tyres. It's going to be difficult on the tyres, but I'm coming back to the pits now. The car doesn't feel too bad, actually. It's handled these corners quite fine. I've got the grip, and I think, well, I don't have to completely cruise the car around. It's not all over the place. So, coming out the final corner, not expecting this because the car's behaved so well so far on the lap. And it just switches. Forces me to the outside, get into a bit of a slide, so I bring it back to the inside, and the wiggle begins. I'm going round! And there goes the rear wing. One of the LMP3s collected me on the straights. I might play back that little bit of the footage and just so you can see my reaction at the time.
Look out for the pit speed limit.
Yeah, I was a little bit frustrated with myself, as I'm sure you can imagine, throwing away a pretty good result like that. Anyway, I'm going down the straight here. This is on board with Laszlo, who I actually collected on the straight. I'm spinning, locking the brakes, and he's got nowhere to go. He's cutting down to the inside of the track. Actually, let's skip back that a little bit again. Let's have a look. So we can find another angle. This might be better. So we're going down the straight. Little blue car in the corner there. 2 ahead of this GT3. And, yep, I'm spinning. He can see me spinning. He can see me going. And yeah, I kind of rolled across the track a little bit, to be honest with you. Just collected him, just one of those things. Looking at the side of the car, let's have a quick squiz. I don't think he got too much damage. I think he carried on pretty much unhindered throughout the rest of the race, which is kind of fortunate because I felt very bad at that point. Anyway, we're cruising down the pits, and we're missing a rear wing. And we're also missing a full tank of fuel and a fresh set of tyres. So we did all that, repaired the damage, but that was pretty much it. That was 5 minutes in the pits. That was the end of our race. Now at this point, by the time we come out, we're about 3 laps. Was it 3? Yeah, it was 3 laps down on the leader and completely out of contention. Now at this point of the race, I come out of the pits and I am in 15th position with a full tank of fuel and about an hour left to go in the race. So it's just time to get my head down and just get some solid laps in, really. Not much more I can do than this. So I want to finish the race, need to be nice and consistent, and we may be a little bit further down the race, but there might be some more positions. You never give up in these kind of situations. Other people could crash. You could get a top 10. We didn't get a top 10. We ended up in 12th position at the end of the race, but I put some solid laps in, I stayed out of trouble, and that's really all you have to do in these SRC races. And it looks like it was enough, because obviously I got my license, but as you can see from the highlights from these videos, it wasn't exactly clean, it wasn't exactly neat and tidy. Now, I know as a racing driver I have a lot to work on. I need to stop letting the adrenaline get to me, I need to stop letting just the pressure get to me. I just need to be a lot more level-headed as a racer. I tend to get into these kind of situations and don't think straight. Like, I could have driven back to the pits so much slower, not lost the rear wing, and kind of had a relatively normal pit stop. It's still kind of been in contention, because without a 5-minute pit stop, I had the pace to be at the front. I don't want to say that I would have won the race, but at that point, I was ahead of Daniel Christo. Yeah, the very same Daniel Christo I took out in Silverstone in the Porsche. I was ahead of him, and he ended up winning the race. So you just never know. You just never know. If it was clean, if it was instant free, maybe I could have stood a chance. But hey, this is what this race is all about. It's about learning. And looking back at the footage now, and with all of your amazing feedback as well, like, you guys have been so supportive, and so not just supportive, but so the feedback has been great. Very critical feedback, which is amazing. You know, lots of tips on how to drive, lots of tips on where I went wrong, things I could improve, things to look out for. Like, just the amount of support and just the knowledge that you guys are passing on throughout the chat on these live streams and throughout the comments after the fact as well. I just incredibly grateful for. I really am. Because I do need to improve if I'm going to be a bit of a better racer in the VLMS, not VEC, it's a bit of a hybrid. The VLMS driving for Zancho SimSport this season. I need to up my game. I'm going to watch this footage very carefully. I'm going to look at where I went wrong, and I'm going to improve that. But for now, I'm going to celebrate the fact I've got my license. And I want to just, again, take this opportunity to thank everyone who tuned into the live streams and for watching me. Amazing support. Thank you so much, guys. Bit of a different kind of video today. If you enjoyed it, then don't be shy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you want to see more of these kind of things, more like critical analysis in the future? If you don't want to say hi, if you don't want to chat, if you're too shy, but you did enjoy the video, then there's that thumbs up button. Give me a like. And to make sure you don't miss any more of my live streams or any of my content, press that subscribe button and press the notification bell as well. And you won't miss a thing. And it'd be great to have you guys. If you want more of a chat, head on over to Discord and say hi. I don't bite, none of us bite, and yeah, good to share your thoughts and good to have your company. Anyway, review over. SRC Season 34 is done. Time to go on to the next one. I'll see you guys then in the next video, whatever it might be.